Welcome to the show. You're with me, Amaya, on Good Morning Sri Lanka, and we have a very special segment planned for you this morning. Now, photography is something that interests many people from all strata of society, and here in Sri Lanka and all around the world actually, a brand that has been synonymous with great photography. They've been delighting us always for many years now. There, I gave you a hint about what this company is, and this company of course is Canon, a great company, a great brand which has been associated with great photography and videography for many years. And I have with me this morning the president and the CEO of Canon Singapore, Mr. Kensuku Konishi, and he is here for a very special purpose in Sri Lanka. And I also have with me Mr. JJ Ambani, who is the chairman of the Metropolitan Group here in Sri Lanka. So I welcome them both to the show. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here on the show with us.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
Mr. Konishi, now you're here in Sri Lanka for a very special reason, for the unveiling of something very special. So let's speak about the purpose of your visit to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that February 20th, we opened first Canon Image Square, which is the brand exclusive shop, focus taking image, which is the camera, and printing image, which is the printer, into Sri Lanka, Colombo. That is a very common platform across Asian countries. But we're very much happy to have such kind of shop in Sri Lanka now. So I come here to inaugurate this great opening in here.
Wow, so that's really great news. The first ever Canon concept store here in Sri Lanka. But let me ask you, what is the significance of the Asian region to Canon, especially in terms of potential growth that's available in this region?
Asia have a very great potential, but to reach our product and value to the end user is not easy because of the distribution network or shop front. The shop itself is not necessarily very advanced. So the Canon Image Square is a very much platform, uniform across India to deliver our the product with good atmosphere and touch and play the atmosphere. So that is good for all the Sri Lanka people to experience first the state-of-the-art product with very advanced atmosphere, which is the same as Singapore, Japan, or even the US.
Now, I need to ask Mr. Ambani about the involvement of the Metropolitan Group with Canon over the years. Now, I've heard that this relationship has been going on for almost 40 years. What's the start? Tell us a bit about the background of the relationship between Canon as well as the Metropolitan Group.
Very long and rewarding journey, I must say. We started off very simply with calculators. At that time, it was a very important product. It was a from electromechanical days, it was a paradigm shift on the electronic, and from there we went on to represent Canon in all their major products like photocopiers, telemachines, electronic typewriters, desktop computers, so on and so forth, and now cameras, digital cameras, I would say.
Now, I need to ask Mr. Ambani about the involvement of the Metropolitan Group with Canon over the years. Now, I've heard that this relationship has been going on for almost 40 years. What's the start? Tell us a bit about the background of the relationship between Canon as well as the Metropolitan Group.
So this is very important. We have nearly 40 years experience and relation, because then they know, Metropolitan Group knows what Canon think, and Canon understands their demand too. So very often we exchange opinion or strategy and deliver the message to Sri Lanka people through Metropolitan Group. That's a very good advantage for Canon and lucky for the Sri Lanka people.
But let me ask you this question. What is the average Canon user really looking for?
A lot of people now very familiar with shooting, and they realize that's fun to exchange their experience through pictures. But then they are gradually, in nature wants to take better picture good picture, good photography, which express their own feeling. To do that, they will feel the smartphone is not good enough. This is good for communication tool, but for the hobby, not good enough. So I hope more people will realize this situation and will buy the camera and high-end camera too.
I actually wanted to ask you about that. With the advent of smartphones as well as tablets, you don't find it a threat to the market share that you already have?
Yeah, definitely the entry level may suffer a little bit because that's a simple function and not so much differentiate the camera function itself. But definitely the smartphone expanded the big pool of the potential camera user, and then they will come to the high-end, the digital compact, which has more zoom, more wide lens, and the lens exchangeable camera too in near future.
Well, that's good news then for Canon as well, because the using of smartphones has really increased the interest in photography, which you would think that it would happen the other way around, but it's great to hear that it's a positive outcome for both Canon as well as its users. But when we speak about unauthorized distribution, it does occur within this region. A grey market does exist. How does Canon plan on tackling this particular threat?
Because of, for example, Canon Image Square, which will handle authorized product through authorized channel with good service and guarantee support, and any because we provide the good the salespeople, so that these people can answer any question which customer needs, which increase reliability and liability to the shop as well as the brand. That will long run differentiate ourselves from grey, which does not have any service support.
And Mr. Ambani, if I could direct the same question to you, I'm sure that you've come across this problem as well. It is a problem, isn't it?
It is, while admitting that it's a problem, because very often the grey market bypasses the tariff structure, and they are able to sort of afford give it at a lesser price. But nevertheless, like I mentioned, people still feel that it's better to pay a little more and get it from us and have the guarantee, of service and warranty and so on and so forth.
And the still image has always been a very, very powerful mode of communication, a very powerful tool of communication. And that is true now more than ever. But what is your take on the future direction that the camera market is heading to worldwide?
Still, we do believe the penetration ratio of the advanced, developing country is not much compared to the advanced country. The gap is very huge, and also these countries have a huge population too. So from this point of view, still we have very the good the area we can increase our sales, but also the quality itself, year by year getting higher and higher, and the people's demand also very much the higher. Then in that case we have provide some of the accessories, lenses, different thing and option, and that will give another opportunity too.
Mr. Konishi, you actually mentioned the advent of the internet. Now this has become a very, very powerful tool when it comes to connecting people from all over the globe, but especially when you speak about the advent of social media, do you see a correlation between social media and the increased usage of Canon equipment among your consumers?
Yes, that definitely. The entry level, people so easy to use mobile phone to uploading some information into the internet. However, once you see the very powerful the site, the picture itself should be very powerful. So to do that, I think digital camera or high-end camera will help such kind of heavy user very well. Even the for example food picture, if you take good food picture, definitely you need high-end camera.
Good example of proliferation is the Facebook. Today see how many hundreds of millions of people like to share their experience, share their photos, everything on Facebook.
Now, Mr. Konishi, during your tenure as the President and the CEO of Canon India, you actually spearheaded a very successful campaign that took much the same sort of concept stores and put them all around, even locations in rural India, taking these stores out of metro areas of India. So do you see the same type of demographic that you saw in India here in Sri Lanka as well, or is it different?
That we have to discuss much deeper with the metropolitan group, how we will develop not only the tier 1 city but tier 2, tier 3. That depends upon the market potential. But definitely we do believe we have huge potential even these rural area too.
Mr. Ambani?
Can you see the development that is taking place, say, in apparel industry, for example? How sophisticated malls are coming up in the rural areas. Now that will give an indication of the affordability even for products like cameras. It will eventually begin to grow into the rural areas as well, that's for sure.
So now this Canon Image Square signature store was unveiled actually last week. So what can an average Canon user expect, or even a beginner, complete beginner to photography expect when they walk into this concept store?
First of all, I encourage them to touch our machine. Don't hesitate. And then we provide some of the objective to shoot. Try to shoot. And if something, they fear something, wrong, ask our salespeople any question. Such kind of, the live experience is very, very important. Like, the Bible, that before I buy, live experience. That's the concept of our Image Square.
Mr. Ambani?
Trust me, they will be amazed. It'll be a new experience. I don't think there's any outfit or any facility that will give you this option.
Thank you so much, Mr. Konishi, as well as Mr. Ambani, for being with us this morning on Good Morning Sri Lanka and sharing this very exciting news of the newest Canon concept store that's coming up here in Sri Lanka. We hope that it's a foretelling of a great future for the consumers as well as for the Canon and the Metropolitan Group here in Sri Lanka. So thank you so much for being with us, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We enjoy.
It was a pleasure to have both you gentlemen on the show with us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. And with that, we are going to wrap up this segment of Good Morning Sri Lanka. This is Amaya signing out. Till then, take care.